Today we are installing this lightweight billet aluminum flywheel from ARC Racing in our Craftsman GT lawn tractor that's been obviously pretty heavily modified. And so let's go over a little bit of what you need. I think there's no instructions for how to do this, so I don't entirely know what I'm doing, but you've got the flywheel, which I just showed you. There's some of these brackets that ARC sells. You need to use these to install the coils that they sell. These are like a Briggs & Stratton coil that is supposed to be specifically for this flywheel apparently. These coils apparently also need some diodes so that they don't backfeed into each other. And then since you go to the aluminum flywheel, you don't get the factory charging system anymore. And so if we have time today, maybe we'll install this little teeny tiny alternator somehow so that it can actually have a charge again, or maybe we'll do that for a later date. Before we get started, it's worth mentioning that this is not the original engine that came on this Craftsman tractor. This is actually the engine from the automatic Craftsman GT lawn tractor of this year. And the automatics came with the 26 horsepower engine, and the manuals only came with the 20 horsepower engine. So the only way to get the 26 horsepower engine is to actually engine swap them into the manual chassis, which is what I've done here. And the only reason I mention it is because the automatic engines have this little box right here, and that is used for automatically advancing the timing of the engine. And so I don't think there's normally when you install these aluminum flywheels, I don't think the engines have that module on them. They just use old school static timing. And so I'm not really sure what that means as far as when I'm installing this, but I guess we'll find out. I suppose I should explain why it is you install this aluminum flywheel to begin with. There's a couple of reasons. Number one, it's a lightweight flywheel, so it's gonna rev a lot faster and be a lot peppier, just like from a performance perspective. Another reason why you want this is if you're going to increase the RPMs, the default RPMs of this machine is like 3,600 RPMs, and every RPM that it can go faster or higher, it goes faster miles per hour wise. So you can safely, if you can't go any higher than 3,600 on the factory flywheel, or it like explodes like a grenade. And so with these aluminum flywheels, you can run them up to like 7,000 RPMs safely without it like exploding. So, twice the RPMs means twice the speed, which means twice the crazy. Let's get into disassembly and get down to the flywheel so we can get it out. With the hood removed, we get our first look at this charging system. Again, this is that box. This is called Smart Spark. I looked it up in the manual, and kind of what I was saying was these coils have these two wires going to them. One of them is the kill, and one of them I believe is like to advance the timing or whatever. And then obviously they have the actual coil spark wire going on them. And so if I bring up the service manual for the engine here real quickly, we can see that that orange or yellow and brown wire I was kind of pointing at on the coil here is right there, and that all goes into the big box, this I box, which is the actual Smart Spark box. And then the wire that I'm interested in because the new coils won't have the smart spark stuff, and they'll run, you know, without any of this box, but I'm like concerned about how to actually kill them. And if we look down a little bit in this manual, U is the ignition kill wire, and so that corresponds to this U right here. And so I believe we can just tap this U into the Briggs coils that we got through that like diode kit thing, and it should work, I think. Let's get right into taking off the flywheel. All right, we've got the original flywheel removed. We've got the ARC right next to it, and now you can see why this stator charging system won't work is because on the back side of our billet, there's no magnets in here that would normally be where the stator gets its energy from. So that's why we can't use the original charging system. But this does just go right on there. So, you know, party time. You can also see why you can't use the original factory coils with this mod, since that's full adjustment and the coil is way too far apart right here. So this is why you have to use the brackets for these. Those on there or something, I guess. Not sure, but it works more or less like that, and that's how you solve that problem. So let's get those brackets installed and get the Briggs coils out. There's apparently a bit of a clearance issue on this bracket, so I'm going to have to slice up this little mount a little bit so I can get some more room here. Instead of grinding away on the intake manifold like I was going to do, I decided to just grind away a little bit on this ARC bracket, so now it does fit on there perfectly. So that's good. Let's get that last bracket on there. Well, that's about it for the stuff I feel confident in doing correctly. The only thing I think I could have been wrong is that maybe I put the coils in upside down, but they really don't fit. This wire doesn't we're gonna try it this way, and if it doesn't work, we'll flip them over or whatever. But let's now work on getting that timing advanced box out. Alright, so this is the Smart Spark system removed. The red wire was giving it power, the white wire was the engine kill signal, I believe, and the brown and yellow wires were for the coils, and then this one was just a ground. So, that unit we can remove, and now is figure out the best way to get, this is that Briggs diode wire kit for the coils, best way to install this somehow. Alright, so that's our diodes installed. We need to find a way to connect the diode thing to this guy, and also this is the wire that goes to my tachometer. So we gotta splice these three things together. Alright, so we've got our coils hooked up to the white wire, which according to the manual is the ignition kill. The two diodes are pointing at the coils, so they should be stopping the back feed, and our tachometer is also hooked up to this white kill wire. So quite a bit of a kludge going on, but hopefully it'll work. So now what we got to do is set the gap on these coils and get the flywheel bolted down and Alright, here goes the first start attempt. We'll see what happens. Hopefully it doesn't run away and just blow up on me. Oh, I'm scared. Wow. That was awesome. Okay, so it works. That's huge. Alright, let's start up again. I had the choke on pretty hard. Let's take the choke off. Here. Okay, so the engine kill switch does work, thank God. And it runs also, thank God. I need to see if the tachometer works here. tachometer does not work, but I am not going to worry about it. I have a running engine for now. So I think what we're going to do is put most of the like throttle and cable and things back together, and we will see if we can drive this thing around a little bit. That's everything put back together. Let's hope it runs a little better than it did without all the cables and stuff hooked up. Yeah, that sounds real nice. Okay, for a drive. Alright, there you have it. Honestly, that was way easier than I thought it was going to be. I expected there to be issues at every step of the way, and there were none. So we got it done real clean. It sounds like it needs a little bit better tuning on like the idle and stuff. It kind of dies a little bit if you don't give it gas, and I haven't actually done like the RPM increase, so it can do twice the RPMs now safely, and which means it goes twice as fast and twice as scary, and it'll be more fun in the future. So with that, I think I'm gonna end it here. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you on the next one.